Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. How are you guys feeling today on this beautiful, beautiful Friday? Isn't it crazy? I keep trying to adjust this because this little thing you're seeing here is my light. If I move it too much to this end, you'll see just that. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me move this a little bit. Oh my God, you guys, we have an awful lot to talk about today, including a last minute story. Angela has been doing the rounds on radio, dragging Porsha. I have a video of her referring to Porsha as a 304 and everything. The gloves truly are off when it comes to this entire situation. And I have to say, I do not blame Angela because she has still not gotten a proper apology from Porsha and just the whole disrespect of it all, right? So stay tuned, you guys. We've got an awful, awful lot to talk about. So who do we have in the building? First of all, I see some of our regulars are here. Shout out to you guys. Thanks so much for being here every day. Hey, Gala, Ashley, Venetia, Ronnie, Allie, Boss Lady's back. Whoop, whoop, whoop. What's the occasion, Boss Lady? You got some time off? Get to sneak over here. I love seeing you back. Ronnie's watching from the road. We travel a lot for my daughter's specialist appointments. Thanks so much for sticking around, even while you're busy running around for your daughter and everything. And I hope that everything goes well for you both today and your entire family. Good morning, Jessica, frog lover, ribbit, ribbit. Good morning, Kahara, Leah, Carl, and the chaos. We've got a lot of chaos to get to with you, and I'm sure you're going to be really excited about those stories. Tadisha, Patty LaBelle, Christy, Mariah, wow, Kaylin, Bree, Cynthia, Ashley again, Adriana, D-Tab, Lucky. Shout out to you all. It is so nice to see you guys. Happy Friday. There's so much to discuss in today's morning report. Like I said, Porsha Williams is being dragged left, right, and center. First, I'm going to show you Shamea talking about how Porsha let the new girls get in between their friendship. Then we're going to talk about Gabrielle Union discussing how she felt having to turn to a surrogate in order to grow her family. Kailyn Lowry fighting against the Ozempic allegations. Cassie has been spotted just 4 days ahead of the trial, looking gorgeous and pregnant in New York. And y'all know why she's in New York, right? She's a star witness. I believe she's victim number one. We've got some disturbing new details about Nathan Griffith's arrest. The gender reveal for Mackenzie McKee's twins that she's expecting, and lots more. So stay tuned, you guys. By the way, if you hear something, can you let me know if it's too loud or not? You know what that is? That is my air fryer because I have to bounce after this, right? After the morning report, I'm going to eat my, my little food over there in the air fryer. Then I got to run. I'm going to do my martial arts with my friend again later. So that's why, I think it only has 10 minutes left. But if it's too loud, I could unplug it. I could throw it out the window if it's bothering you guys, right? So just feel free to let me know. By the way, I did also want to say shout out to Tyrell. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. It is so nice to have you here. Thank you. You guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, join the chat, whatever you can to support the channel. Thank you so much. So, okay, I actually forgot to tease this story for you guys. Do you guys remember Shane from Love is Blind season 2? Let me put up a picture of him. He was the guy, kind of with the crazy eyes that reminded people of Gary Busey. Well, he had a glow up, you guys. A true glow up. I'm sorry, but now let me show the picture. Hang on. I'm salivating thinking about the photo. My eyes are watering at how hot he got. You guys, this is the kind of guy I might let ruin my life. Take a look, you guys. Look at how hot he got. Oh my God. You know who he kind of looks like to me now, who I also find hot. And I know East Awesome or Theo or, whoever else hates my taste in men is going to drag me. He reminds me a little bit of Chet Hanks here. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I find Chet Hanks so hot too. Oh my God. He really, truly needed to bulk and to cut his hair. It truly was a complete 180 transformation for him. He looks absolutely incredible. He looks happy. He looks healthy. Remember, you guys, he decided to... damn, Allie. He decided, and damn, Bree said the same thing too. He decided to sober up, and now he's in a relationship with this girl. I forget her name, even though I follow her on TikTok. She does a lot of these like kind of like psychology sort of videos, and they've been together for going on a year now, you guys. And oh my goodness, like the glow up, the true glow up that he has had. I don't even want to take this photo down, y'all. Like I feel like a koala bear, like to this picture. I do not want to let it go. No. Oh my God. He looks so damn good, you guys. I'm sorry. I know some people might not care for him or might taste him in, but I think he looks so hot. Thanks so much, you guys. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. It's so nice to have you here. Good morning to everybody. Now, why don't we get into the story about Porsha, right? So you guys know we're slowly watching the breakdown of her friendship with Shamea, her lifelong bestie. Their parents were bestie, right? Their moms. And so they were raised to be best friends. So it was really, really sad to see where their relationship is gone. Shamea did an interview on the radio to talk about her sort of disappointment about where they are as friends. And I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. Okay, let me see. Do I have it here? Oh, I only have the other one. Give me 1 second. Oop. Was the title of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right here. Voila, here it is. So again, Shamea says she's always been a ride or die for Porsha, but she has not been getting that reciprocation. And it's especially sad or weird to her, the fact that it is new people that Porsha barely even knows that have gotten in between their friendship this time around. And I got to say, I don't feel bad for Shamea because everybody has always been telling her who Porsha was and that she is Porsha's friend, but that Porsha is not her friend. And she never wanted to actually listen to anybody. She used to just say that people were hating, people were reading it too much into things. But now Porsha has yet again shown her what it is. And so to me, another thing that makes me not feel too bad for her is the fact that she doesn't just accept it for what it is and walk away, you know, like knowing her worth. She's still out here begging. So take a look at this, okay?
There were a lot of changes this season. If you could undo one change, what would it be?
I mean, it would be just the awkward space that my friendship is in with Porsha.
Yeah.
I would undo that. That would that's my real friend. You know what I mean? And reality is real, right? Mm-hmm. Reality, you can't spell reality without spelling real. Mm-hmm. So the place that we're in right now it's hurtful. You know what I mean? It would be bad to say.
Why did y'all let it get to this point though? How did you let it get to this point when you're such good friends?
You know, in relationships, there's you and then there's them, right? And then there's like your perspective and mine. Right. I haven't been able to even have a conversation to understand how it got to this point. Everything that I've done has been centered in love and has led with love. And I've never been one to allow anybody to talk down on my friendship or like my people. And that's just my thing. Now, what's happening on the other side, I have no idea. But there's no way that you, Brett, could come to me and say, Porsha said this or Porsha did this. I'm going to look at you like, girl, please. Stop.
So did the producers tell you to not talk to her a lot, or did
no? I've reached out. I've done my part. I feel okay, and you know the fact that she's allowing and listening to other people is ludicrous to me. People that she just met, people that she does not know. Well, they're in her ear or have said some things, I guess, about our friendship. First of all, our friendship should never have been up for discussion, to me.
Yeah.
And if it was something that was that bad, it should have been addressed to me.
Did y'all talk before the show and say, look, did she say, well, you've been on the show before, so you know how sometimes how setups can be and how trifling the plot can get. So did y'all have conversations before, like, look, no matter what they try to do, this ain't going to be a problem?
Yeah, and my thing is, what's understood shouldn't be, you don't have to explain. Like, I'm riding for you. I think history has proven I ride for you over and over again, almost to the point where people are like, what's wrong with you? What she got on you? Were you still riding some boy? Right. What's happening with you? So at this point, I'm stepping back and I'm going to need you to show me some of that. The reciprocity. I need you to ride for me like I've been riding for you. And as all things on reality TV, it'll all play out and we will all see, and we can either be accountable for it or we can keep it moving.
There you go. It seems like Shamea still has not learned her lesson and that she's out here kind of low-key begging Porsha to act right and be her bestie once again when she really should be at this point. Oh, my air fryer's done. Y'all hear that? She really should be at this point grateful to know the type of character that this girl has and now moving accordingly. So that's not the only person. There's also Angela who had some things to say. Take a look.
What do you think prompted her to say that?
I mean, that's what whores do.
Oh, whoa! That was a sniper shot. Like, yo, like,
but so what
she meant it though?
What is your thought process to come to that statement?
I just, that's the immediate reaction. I don't care who says it, right? If anyone says that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's whorish activities. So that was my immediate reaction. And I know she said she was inebriated and she was just having fun. But I don't have fun like that with my friends.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you got to know what people's comfortability or play level is before you say certain things, even if you do it in jest. And you can blame it on the alcohol, but,
Listen, when I get drunk, you know what I do? I tell people how much I love them. And I hug people. I'm like, you guys are the best. I'm not out here like, I'm going to bang that guy's wife. Like, because he would whip my ass.
Yes. So, no. Didn't like it.
So there you go. Honestly, I think it was really nice to see her that, the confidence that she had to speak her mind in that situation, because I think a big reason why the comment was even able to be made back then, without being challenged was because, the other ladies did not have the confidence to be able to tell Porsha to her face, hey, listen, this is not acceptable. I don't find it funny, right? So I think that's a big reason why a lot of people like Angela and, want to see her continue on, because she's confident. She doesn't need this the way that other people do. She doesn't vie for the limelight or anything like that. She just wants to be herself. Somebody told me, like in a past morning report that, or I think it was actually Angela said this on the Nick Viall podcast, that she had been approached for the show several times. So that really goes to show you that, like, she's just doing this for fun, y'all. It's kind of like Monique from the Real Housewives of Potomac when she says, listen, I don't need that little check. This is just something I'm doing, right, to pass the time. I'm a housewife, like a true housewife. I'm not struggling like some of these other ladies. I'm not trying to, fund my life and my man's life. No, my man does very well. And so I really, really love that about Angela. And we truly needed that energy here. By the way, shout out to you, Mariah. Thanks so much for becoming a channel member. I have a new video over there for my channel members that I posted this morning ahead of the Teyana Taylor story, which, really, truly blew my mind. And I know, Nancy, I don't know why or how, but the way that just cutting your hair made this man so hot to me, insane. And I know, Kahara, I'm sorry, my taste is a little off. I can own it. But he was so hot. Deja says, it's actually scary to have a friend like Porsha. I used to love Porsha, but seeing the way she treats her friends, sister, and everyone who is no use to her or outshines her over the years is crazy. And you know what? I do agree with you on that, especially when you look back to older episodes or seasons of the show when Porsha's sister, Lauren, was pregnant. Remember, like the disdain that Porsha had for her, the way that she was trying to work her more than usual, the way that she was leaving that late, she was treating her so disgustingly. And when Lauren said, I can't work the same way that I used to, I'm pregnant, Porsha says, I can't be running my business around what's going on in your stomach. And she did the neck roll and she just spit it out with so much venom, right? And then she rushed to go ahead and have a baby after her sister did. That's how she wound up with Dennis. And, per usual, she pushed that relationship a lot quicker than it needed to be pushed, right? And she got pregnant before really knowing the man. And then, per usual, like with her typical relationships, it blew up in her face. Now, again, I'm really happy to see Shamea and Angela speaking out. I know that they started things off like on rough grounds at the beginning of the season, but I do think that going through a similar thing with one another can potentially bond them. And maybe you might see them become friends now that it's kind of over between Shamea and Porsha. And I don't think Porsha wants to be friends again. Like a lot of people have already noticed, she doesn't want to see her friends doing too well. And I think that it's too painful to her to see Shamea in such a, loving, relationship, marriage, whatever, with somebody who is so damn successful, right? Don't forget, Porsha's been married twice and she's never been able to have a marriage last more than like 2 years, right? So the fact that Shamea's been married, how long has Shamea been married for? It's been a while. Has it not been like 10 years or something like that? A very, very long time. And again, a legitimately rich person. In Porsha's first marriage, she said that she only got married to that man to be a beard, to change his image for the world because there was a rumor that he was gay. Second marriage, she didn't know if the guy was a legal resident in the US or anything like that, right? But Shamea, everything's good on her side, right? Just saying. Anyway, a lot of people had some comments to make in the video where Shamea was talking about the state of her current relationship with Porsha. And Marlo Hampton actually chimed in. There she is at the top of the pack saying Shamea has always been a loyal friend to Porsha. It's unfortunate when the other party is not loyal. Luxury says she is not your friend. Don't piss me off. Brittany says Shamea lives the life that Porsha wish she had. Listen, at this point, there's no way that Porsha is not aware of her public perception. And that's one thing about Porsha that I will always give her credit for. She's not a smart person in general, right? However, she's very socially smart, I would say. So like she's always been able to come out unscathed in a lot of scandals. She's really showed her behind several times. She's proven time and time again that she's not a good person, right? Very selfish person, very manipulative person, big liar, just vindictive, all sorts of ugly characteristics that she has. However, somehow people don't really seem to care, right? The situation with Candy, she and Candy are now friends. She and Phaedra are now friends. Like, it's crazy how she's always been able to bounce back. She comes back to the network. People are totally fine with it. People do not come for her the way they come for Phaedra. So I do think that with her being so obsessed with public perception, she is going to find a way to fake nice with Shamea. Again, Shamea is very desperate for her friendship for whatever reason. Shamea is going to accept it. And then next season, if they're both back, she's going to pretend that she's tight with Shamea and whatnot just for the cameras. But as soon as this show goes away one day, you'll see that they are not truly friends. Now, you guys, I actually have a story that, kind of surprised me because I have never heard of somebody who sought out a surrogate, refer to their surrogate journey the way that Gabrielle Union has. And I really wanted to know what you guys' opinions would be on this story, okay? So as you guys are aware, Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade have tried for years to get their family growing, right? Unfortunately, Gabrielle suffered several miscarriages somewhere along the line. Prior to all of this as well, Dwayne Wade stepped out, had a side baby on her and everything. And then they had to seek out a surrogate in order to have a baby, right? And so now Marie Claire magazine has just released their first ever motherhood issue, and Gabrielle is speaking very candidly about how it made her feel. And again, some of the language that she uses is kind of shocking to me. I'm not saying that her emotions are wrong. She doesn't have the right to feel the way that she feels. Au contraire, right? Au contraire. I am thinking actually that this is just raw honesty on her part that was quite surprising to me. So anyway, she says that going down the surrogacy route felt like failure. Quote, my body failed. It just felt like such an effing public humiliation. Surrogacy felt like a cuckold, watching someone do something that I can't do. Have you guys ever heard of somebody who sought out a surrogate saying that they felt like a cuck? Is that not crazy? My jaw is still kind of like, what did I just read? What did she just say? That's wild. Absolutely wild, right? Again, she's not wrong. I'm not saying that I dislike or this or that, like I'm judging her opinion. I'm just saying I am shocked that this is the way that she is describing her surrogacy journey, right? So she continued on to say, and I quote, to be there for somebody else succeeding where I failed, it's a mind F for people who have had my journey and who feel similarly. When it's never been your reality, I get the urge to judge and cast aspersions because we all want whatever route we took to be the quote right way. Gabrielle also said that she'll never have peace with her decision to go down the surrogacy route. Quote, that's not what anybody has to say. That's just my yearning has never dissipated. I was so ready for my surprise, but all the prayers that didn't get answered in the way that I thought made me more conscientious that my child is here? Did I want the public applause and attention that comes with being a public pregnant person because your baby is here, your child is here, healthy, amazing. I'm very grateful for our gestational caregiver, though. It's just one of those things where it's such a personal journey that I may never know full peace with my coulda, woulda, shouldas. So again, I understand where she's coming from. Gabrielle suffered so many miscarriages before going down this route. She truly, truly wanted to carry her own child, right? I just can't even imagine, right? The heartbreak that she's going through. On the one hand, she's really grateful and happy that her daughter is here. But on the other hand, right, she feels like her body failed her in this regard, right? And although it's shocking, right, I'm still finding myself rather speechless about the entire thing. I do think it's important for people to start really being open and honest about what certain experiences are like, because a lot of people hide their feelings because nobody yet has been, has dared to share their true feelings, their true emotions, right? And so with people like Gabrielle, who are willing to kind of shock people, because this is like the first time I've ever heard it be described like this, it opens the door for other people who maybe feel that same way too, to say, okay, well, listen, wow. I guess it's okay that I feel this way, right? I'm not ungrateful. There's nothing wrong with me for feeling this way, right? Ashley Spinelli. Oh my God. Ashley's link up. Spinelli's here. You made me think of that episode where she joined like the Ashley clique and stuff, and she tried to be girly and whatnot. She said the silent part out loud. Steph says Gabby is off her rocker. Ramster says, it's a torture. My girls can now roam free. Ooh, what's that all about? I missed out on that. Caroline says she is. Houston Rose says, Gabrielle did mention all this in her book. She had like 8 miscarriages. I really cannot imagine. I feel so bad for her and all the pain that she had gone through. Deja says something about Gabrielle Union. She always rubs me the wrong way. I have heard that a lot. Ronnie says Gabrielle Union makes it sound like she's going to hold a ton of resentment about it. I hope she goes to therapy. And I hope so too, right? Because this is just such a complicated, emotion, feeling, situation to go through, right? She wasn't one of those celebrities that wanted a surrogate because they can't be bothered, right, with pregnancy, or they didn't want to have, their body be affected or anything like that, take time off work. No, like she really, 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 really wanted this. And so just like knowing that it wasn't going to happen for her is just so devastating. It's a lot to reconcile. Cynthia says, probably the wrong words, but totally understandable. I waited so long for my second baby and I was always so scared to have a miscarriage. And I completely agree, right? Like it's terrifying. You feel frustrated and angry and everything. It's a lot of emotions all at once. Steph says, I don't think her body failed her. It probably wasn't meant for her to have Dwayne Wade's baby. I don't know. When you say this, it reminds me of Jay-Z's song. I think it's my favorite Jay-Z song ever, 444. And in it, it's the album. Remember when like the elevator gate happened with Solange all over Jay-Z in the elevator? And then they all released these incredible like God tier albums that year, right? So Jay-Z's album was 444. And the title track in it, he's talking about all the miscarriages that Beyonce had, right? And so he said that he felt like it was his fault that she was having miscarriages because he was being unfaithful, right? He said that the body was not accepting these things because he was being unfaithful, and the body just did not want her to be tied to him, to be, so that just reminded me of that, Stephanie, that comment. Gwen says, agreed, I'm so excited for hot weather so I can wear tank tops and leave the torture devices off. Y'all kill me. Ali says, I think she was very raw in this moment and allow the raw emotions to take hold and not cuckold her. Pun intended, Ali, her verbiage. And I completely agree. I really, really, really do applaud people who are brave enough to share such strong feelings, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if more people start coming out and speaking about this in the future. Good morning, Sal. Nice to see you. Now, you guys, we got a lot of teen mom stories today, actually. Listen, before I get into the teen mom stories, hang on, because I got to get my pillow. I'm looking too short here, and I don't like it. Because whenever I put your comments up, they cover like half of my head, right? And I need y'all to see that half. I worked very hard on it today. So here's Kail. Kail's been looking really good, you guys, right? She got her, she got her second round of lipo, right? She got her second round of tummy tuck. She's looking good. She's feeling herself. She's going through a breakup. And y'all know there's something about a breakup, a post-breakup glow that does it to you, right? So she stepped out to the CMA Awards, the country awards, whatever they were called last night, right? And a lot of people were suggesting that she had Ozempic and that she couldn't actually look that good. Take a look at some of these photos that she shared from that night, right? So here she is. First of all, this green really is in her color palette. It looks really beautiful on her. You know what other colors I think would look really good on her with her hair and her skin tone? Like a Tiffany blue. And then there's like this shade of purple that I'm thinking of, not lilac. It's like a blue, purple mixed with pink sort of a thing, right? I think that would look really good. Even this would look good on her. This pink would look good on her. Anyway, she looked good, right? She wore a bustier. Remember, she got a breast reduction as well. And so she really wants to show off her perky new rack, and who can blame her? And then here's another photograph of her from the red carpet. She's looking really snatched. Listen, she just had 7 kids. The last 3 were popped out within the last year and a half, 2 years. And so people are understandably thinking, damn, what did you do to bounce back like that? Listen, y'all, plastic surgery. The girl, y'all know she had surgery. You know she had surgery, right? The first time she had the BBL, which includes lipo, and she got a tummy tuck as well with her BBL. It's not always with a tummy tuck, but she got one. And then she had some kind of breast augmentation there. And then now here she is with the second round. And so I think that honestly, if she really, really, really sticks with it this time, right? You don't even have to work out, right? A lot of people are always like, oh, like, how do you stay, not to me, right? But in general, like they just feel like, oh, I don't have time to work out, so I can't be like, thinner or whatever. 90% of it is what you eat, not even eating healthy, but how many calories are you consuming, right? And so I think that if she just stays on that path, right? Because I don't imagine she would have that much time to work out with the businesses she's running, all the children she has, all the, baby daddy's houses to run them off to, right? If she just sticks with a good, calorie deficit or regular maintenance or whatever, she could maintain these results for like a very, very, very long time. She looks really, really good. Okay. And I gotta say, Tanisha says, despite how I feel about Kail, she looks good. Surgery Ozempic coins well spent. Now, speaking of the Ozempic, Kail is so freaking happy about the Ozempic allegations. And I'll get to this, Carl in the Chaos. I got a screenshot for you on that. Okay. I'll get to this. Let me star your comment. She's so thrilled about the Ozempic allegations. The amount of videos that this woman made yesterday about people accusing her of being on Ozempic. Oh, she's thrilled. Take a look at some of them, okay?
Fuck. Thank y'all so much for saying that you think that I photoshopped my pictures. Truly the best compliment that I could have received. Trying to take my jacket off. Thank you so much. I'm also not on Ozempic. Thank you so much.
She was also heavier in Isaac's prom pictures that just came out. I agree. Not her body. Photoshopped.
Or maybe it could be the outfit I was wearing.
Got that Ozempic body.
I wish. Y'all get me on Ozempic.
Baby daddy. Bitch, I'm gay. Shut the fuck up. One thing about it is we might have just looked good walking the red carpet, but now
we ate a whole pizza.
I done ate all this pizza by myself. She got her little piece over there, and I'm eating ice cream with a fork. Okay?
Ozempic wear.
Ozempic wear. Okay? Baby, I done threw these pants off me so quick. The buttons have popped. Okay? So, we ain't ate all day. We hungry as hell. Damn starving over here. Y'all gonna catch us on one of those Feed the Children commercials.
So there you go. Y'all see how happy she was? She made like 3 or 4 videos denying the Ozempic allegations. Listen, I can't even hate. I would do the same. Like, wow, you really think so? Here's the thing. Again, she had surgery, second round of body surgery to help keep her stomach flat after having so many children. For some people who are saying, for example, like China, who wouldn't be surprised if she was on Ozempic. She's known for her workout regimens. Here's the thing. On her podcast, she has been talking about it for the past year or so, that she was looking forward to getting on Ozempic, potentially after the surgery, if she still felt as though she needed to lose a little bit more weight. So I wouldn't be surprised if like eventually, I don't know, like I don't think she needs it, right? I think she looks fantastic here where she's at. But I do believe that if she were to start taking it, she would be honest with us about it, because she's already been really, really, really honest with us about a lot of the other procedures that she gets, right? And she has already opened the door by telling us that she has considered Ozempic, right? So I do believe that if that happens, she will tell us, right? And that's the thing too, Ramster, right? The breast reduction, that changes a lot. Sometimes, you know, being really, really busty, having, you know, a big boobies, that can make you look a little bit larger sometimes. And so I think that, and let me put up a picture of her again. So I do think that the breast reduction probably also helped with, like, you know, the illusion, or not even the illusion, but probably also helped to make her look thinner as well. Because typically when she's out here on these red carpets wearing these bustiers and whatnot, she has a really, 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 she's got some knockers on her, y'all, right? And so there you go. Listen, she looks fantastic. I hope that she stays within these color palettes, right? Listen, knowing your color palette changes everything, right? As far as, like, you know, getting dressed goes. Now, I did have a comment here from Kail in the Chaos. Let me go back and find her comment, boo. She had asked, are they admitting that they're splitting up now, right? The whole Elijah thing. I have done so many videos about this, and it's just so hard to be able to truly to give you a definitive answer. I can only ever tell you what she's told us in this moment, right? So, you know, she did the thing where she was bleeping his name out of podcast. She referred to him as her ex. And then the last time I talked to you guys about Kail and what she was up to, it was 2 days ago, I want to say. It would have been on Wednesday's morning report, where she told Lindsay that she emphasized twice. All of her past relationships had been toxic. She's always regretted going back home, turning the key, and, like, you know, seeing that man in her house, whatever man she was dating at the time. So to me, it sounds like they are off again, because she didn't say with the exception of Elijah, right? Typically, when she would talk about her toxic relationships, she would say that everybody before Elijah, and that Elijah is great, right? So I do believe that they are off again. And the reason I was pulling up that photo of her with the Crocs in her hands is because y'all saw the way that she put her ring back on after all of, like, the drama with Elijah. Then she made the TikTok with him, laughing at people's comments, saying that people were just speculating too much. They didn't know the truth, like, you know, implying that they're back together. Well, now take a look at this photo that she shared just last night. The ring is off again. The ring didn't mean a thing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The ring is off again, you guys. Or should I sing Beyonce? She took that ring off. It looks like, just based off of what she's been saying on her podcast and her taking her ring off again, that things are off again with Elijah. And honestly, I'm really, 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 like, sad for the family in that, because it's a lot, you know, trying to separate when there are so many moving pieces and whatnot already is really, really difficult. And I definitely do not envy her in that regard. And I feel really, really, really badly for the children, most importantly, because yet again, you know, here is a guy, some random guy off the streets that was randomly selected, you know, to give her a new baby and to move into the house with these people, right? That they keep on living through. And I feel like that's got to be really, really traumatic to her. Remember, Joe had a heart-to-heart conversation with Elijah at a barbecue, and he asked Elijah, are you the real deal? Are you really going to stay? Because my son is traumatized. He had a stepdad that he looked at, like, truly as a second father. That was ripped away from him. And there have been many other men who've come around, dropped off some babies like the stork, bounced. He can't take anymore. Are you the real deal? Elijah looked him right in the face, said, yeah, he's here to stay. He loves Kail. He loves the children. He isn't going anywhere, just to turn around and boop, cheat. Just to turn around and cheat. Honestly, that is just such vile behavior, to go and seek out a single mother. Just to do that to her is honestly just so troubling. So I really, 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 you know, feel bad for everybody involved in this. Yes, she could have made better decisions, right? She definitely should learn, you know, what a condom is, first and foremost, right? Especially when she's fornicating with strangers. She said that they got pregnant on the first time that they hooked up, right? It was kind of like this, oh, hot neighbor, let's get together. Boom. raw. So I do think that she needs to look into condoms in the future, right? Even if she got her tubes tied or taken out or whatever, STDs are still a thing, right? So I do think that she needs to do better moving forward, but I still do feel bad for her. Mariah says, remember, there's a farm involved, you guys. Livestock, chickens, pigs, goats. How do you divide all that? Well, listen, I don't think they really need to divide it because the man lives like right there on the plot of land. Mariah says, I don't think I could ever have any surgery that my life didn't depend on. I'm a hypochondriac and I don't know how people get multiple dangerous surgeries. You know what? Fair. I totally get it too. Listen, I get it. You know, it's definitely a big risk. You know, even if you had the best surgeon in the planet, like the surgeon could have an off day, right? Or something in your body, your blood or something could just like not have a good reaction, and it could be a big risk. So I definitely get it. Ramster says she keeps dragging guys through her home like groceries. Oh, are you a rapper, Ramster? Because that kind of sounded like a bar. Acacia says, I think Elijah has been doing this. It's only new to us. And I wouldn't be surprised either. He was just so damn brazen. Maybe he'd gotten away with it for so long that, you know, and because a lot of people don't know Elijah, you got to be like knee deep in the teen mom world, right? So maybe he had gotten so brazen that because of like, you know, potentially having done this in the past. Ryan says, been single for 2 years. I won't bring a man around my children. Yup, that isn't their father until they're older. I need to focus on them and not a man. You know what? I think it's the safest thing, right? There have been so many statistics and, you know, stories and whatnot about, you know, some of the dangers, right, of bringing random men around your children. And honestly, I'm really amazed that in this franchise, we have not heard those types of horror stories. I am knocking on wood that they're not being hidden or something like that, that truly nothing has happened, because the way that Kail moves, the way that Leah moves, the way that some of these people move, scary stuff, right? Scary stuff. Deja says, I don't think Elijah said come out to cheat. We got to remember how Kayla is in a relationship too, and I think Elijah was as good as he could be, but Kail, girl, with her shenanigans, right? She also says, who is to say she didn't have him on a damn NDA? Maybe she cheated. Ooh, and listen, Kail has been known to cheat in many a relationship, so you never know, right? You never know. China says, I don't think Kail would allow him to leave because then she's alone, would be responsible for raising all the children aside from the dads pitching in. She had it so good with that man. And to me, the way that man was so involved, like I truly thought he was here. Like, listen, I always kind of was hesitant about this relationship or skeptical about this relationship because of his age, right? I think he's too young for her. But the way that he was really stepping up as a father figure, like entrenched in there, shook. And I really thought that she would stay anyway, because listen, she's got her own history of cheating. Maybe they could convert their relationship into an open relationship. There's just so much on the line here, right? Like just, it's a lot, right? Weren't they also supposed to be building a new house? Like, Alex says, if only she would nip and tuck the men in her, in her life out of it with more vigor than she does her own body. Another bar. Y'all are killer today. I love it. Gwen says, at least Kail has a nanny around to make sure these guys aren't sniffing around her kids, right? I'm so paranoid that I rarely allow guys in my house at all. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at here, because listen, her and Leah, the way they move, scary stuff. China says, Kail makes me glad to be a single woman living alone with just my cat. Black Jesus, fix it. Kail is always in the trenches. Isn't it the best? Listen, I feel like single life is so underrated. You know, having lived with men, let me tell you, I prefer single life, being alone, dating, zipping it and doing it, y'all, and not much more. Carl says, I'm surprised that Kail didn't beat his behind and get arrested. She's got form for it. And that's what she did to Chris when he cut the child's hair, right? So she's done it in the past. We saw her shake up Javi too. Thank God she didn't, though, because she does need to learn that it's not okay to put your hands on people, right? And I don't think that the law would be so lenient to her this time around with her history, right? Ronnie says, I guarantee you they stay together. Listen, I wouldn't be so, listen, if I were Kail, I would stay with that man. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I always walk away from cheating, right? But I'm a single young woman, right? Young tenderoni. I'm fine, right? But in her situation with all the kids, the farm, this, that, oh, I'm staying. What cheating? I'm sorry. I didn't see anything. What are you talking about? Brianna says, girl, I'm 8 years post-divorce, still single, keeping my child safe. Oh my God. Y'all are really, really, truly rocking it here. And, it's so nice to hear these stories of, different ways that you guys are navigating single motherhood, right? And just, keeping your kids first and foremost as your priorities. I really do applaud you guys. Super, super, super beautiful to hear. Now, unlike you guys who keep your kids first and foremost, here's somebody who barely even probably remembers the name, ages, and birthdays of his kids, Nathan Griffith. Do y'all remember how he got arrested for allegedly choking out his girlfriend? Well, listen, guards, let him out. We're going to talk about him. Yup, that's him. Nathan Griffith. Shout out to the Ashley's Reality Roundup for some details that she managed to uncover about his arrest, you guys. And apparently, the arrest is even worse than we had imagined. So give me one quick second. We're going to talk about that on the flip side. We got a word from some of our sponsors. And then on the flip side, we're going to discuss Nathan's arrest, in addition to a lot of other stories that we've got to share. And Jade making comments about whether or not she got fired from Teen Mom Next Chapter, okay?
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today.
All right, here goes. So I've got the rundown on the arrest report, and it reads as follows. By the way, it's very, very graphic, so this definitely is a trigger warning because we will be discussing DV, okay? So the police who was called to the scene said, and I quote, "Today, victim told..." And we'll just use her names. "Today, Anastasia told Nathan that they were breaking up and she got into her car to call his mom, Doris," the report states. While Anastasia was on the phone with his mom, he came out to get to the car and took her phone away from her, later giving it back. And so at this point, Anastasia stayed in the car. Nathan went back inside the house and called her. And when he called her, Nathan begged her to come back inside of the house and cuddle with him one last time. And Anastasia agreed as long as Nathan would leave. And this is where it gets ugly, right? Because at this point, he was just luring her, right? And mind you, the two of them were living in a place that belonged to her family. So she gets back in the house, and this is where things go really, 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 really awry. While on the bed, laying down, Nathan got on top of Anastasia and grabbed both of her arms. At one point, he let go and wrapped both of his hands around her neck and strangled her for a couple of seconds. Nathan would let go of her neck and grab Anastasia's arms again. Nathan repeated this approximately 3 times. Anastasia was finally able to leave the residence and call the police. I observed reddening and multiple marks on her neck, as well as reddening on her right bicep area. Photos were taken of the injuries. Just even hearing this stuff, reading it is so freaking horrific. Why? Why would he do that? Why? And the fact that he has constantly done this. Look at his wall of mugshots behind him, right? Half of those are from the strangulation. He has done this to several women. It's just his thing of choice, and it's weird. Very, very weird. So at this point in the police report, the officer had said that while Anastasia was on the phone with 911, Nathan came outside, then ran back in the house when he spotted the cops had pulled up. And so he ignored multiple commands to stop and turn around. He refused to come outside for officers, even after knocking on the door and speaking with him on the phone. Nathan was extremely intoxicated while talking with him on the phone, slurring his words and crying hysterically, is what they noted in their police report, right? And so when they ran him up in the system, they found that he was already on probation for attempted battery by, guess what? Strangulation, right? This was something that he did to his own sister, you guys. She had passed out because he had done it so hard. And so the police officers said that they had a probable cause for 3 charges against Nathan, which were domestic battery, strangulation, violating his probation by consuming alcohol, and being uncooperative with officers. So there was more information provided in this report. They said, due to the fact that Nathan did use force or violence upon the person of another with whom he shares a domestic relationship by strangling her multiple times, has a history of strangulation, and Anastasia having marks around her neck, Nathan was arrested for domestic battery strangulation. So there you go, you guys. Honestly, I do not know what the hell, like what went wrong with this guy. When I see his family, we've seen what his mother, she seems so lovely, so attentive, so normal, right? How do people like this get produced? What is it? The war, you know, like what? But you know, because this is like something that a lot of people say that maybe he was traumatized when he went off to war or something like that, which I do imagine probably, you know, was traumatizing to him. But what kind of trauma is it that he only ever goes after women? You know, I imagine that he does get into disputes with men as well. However, you do not see him ever going after men in this sort of capacity, right? You never hear about him being violent against men. So to me, I think that it's just a manifestation of who he is. And I find that to be just so damn sad and scary. And, you know, in fact, when he had done it to his sister, he made sure that his sister's husband was out of the house. His sister was nice enough to let him into her house. And so he was there and she's married. She lives with her husband. Then her husband was out of the house. And that is when Nathan pounced, right? And in the case with Anastasia, like I told you guys, they've been staying at a home that belongs to their family. And I believe it was her mother as well, who's typically with them. And it wasn't until the mother went on vacation halfway around the world that Nathan did this. So it is very much, in my opinion, premeditated. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's not some kind of shock, like, you know, dropped something on the floor. I gave him like, you know, war flashbacks and it's anybody who's, you know what I mean? No, like this is premeditated. Like he is dangerous. He is insane and he needs to be locked up for life. Truly. How many times can you get arrested for strangling random women before the judge, especially while you're on probation, before the judge says, no, you've got to serve a mandatory minimum of like 20 years, but more likely, more hopefully, life at this point, because this is insane. It's disgusting and it's disturbing. Thanks for becoming a channel member, Bree. So nice to have you. And Nikki, it's so nice to hear it. Listen, sometimes when we're going through these like heavy stories, you got to have something to kind of like add a little bit of levity to it, because it is a little bit suffocating to get into these stories. And Michelle, are those regular fix or a mugshot wall? So it's a series of his different mugshots that I had found on Starcasm. Then I put them together to make a grid and slapped his face on top of it. I'm actually kind of thinking of, you know, just adding some more to it, because there have been more arrests since. This is something I made way back in the day when I was still living in Ottawa. Like this is at least like 5 years old or something like that. There have been many more mugshots and arrests since this happened. And thanks for becoming a member. As we have another new member, but I'm not able, hang on, let me pull it up here. So it's two Brees who became members at the same time. You'll love to see it, 444 and 449. Thank you to you too, Bree, for becoming a channel member. Thanks so much, you guys. It's so lovely to have you guys and to be able to share some exclusive content with you guys as well. I think there's still some more details details that were released about this. Once again, shout out to the Ashley's Reality Roundup for getting her hands on the official police report. So after Nathan was arrested, his now ex-girlfriend, Anastasia, she had filled out a questionnaire, right, about the situation, right? And it's typical in DV cases. And so the questionnaire had asked her, about Nathan, their past behavior, things like that, right? And so when asked if she thought Nathan would try to delete her, she answered yes, right? Which would automatically deem the situation high risk and danger. And you know what? I don't think that she even exaggerated it at all. I do think that he is capable of that, right? And it's scary. That's what makes it so alarming that they keep allowing this man out onto the streets, because unfortunately one day it's going to end up and result in that situation, right? And so when asked if Nathan had been, violently or consistently jealous, if he controls most of her daily activities, she also answered yes to that as well. And we also already had gotten a copy of, and it was actually Anastasia who had shared this on her Instagram. But remember, when Nathan was first locked up, he had called her to beg her to not show up to court so that they could drop these charges, right? So in my opinion, they should have already started charging him with witness intimidation as well, because it's highly, highly inappropriate. For one reason or another, I still do not understand, but it wasn't an automatic thing, that an automatic no contact order or just a general do not intimidate the witness thing in place between the two of them until after that phone call. So he cannot be penalized for that phone call. By the way, can I ask you guys, I've been saying Anastasia sometimes, Anastasia sometimes. I like both pronunciations, but I don't know. How does she prefer it? Is it Anastasia or Anastasia? Again, I like them both. I like the name. I think it's really beautiful. But somebody says that it sounds like anesthesia, and now I can't get it out of my head. China says, could you imagine if Nathan was Black and had this violent, dangerous history against women? The fact he's gotten away with so much is telling, right? And I do agree with you, right? Like, I'm struggling to wrap my mind around why somebody like this would be allowed out. It feels like they're waiting for somebody's life to end before they give him any kind of serious repercussions. And I don't understand why a woman has to be sacrificed for that. We already know that he's violent. We already know that he's dangerous. We already know over the past several years, 10 plus years, because he had done this to Janelle as well back in the 2010s. So we already know that he's capable of all these things, and he's been doing it for over a decade. So how, why, like, what is going on, right? I'm also wondering if they're also like giving him some sort of special treatment because he's a veteran, because the last time when he did this to his sister, they had put him under some sort of like a veteran program or something like that. It's all very, very scary stuff. And, I have to plug martial arts in this as well, just because I'd been getting back into this, but I really, 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 truly strongly feel that, as women, especially, like, I think it's important to study some martial arts and whatnot, just in case anything like this, just to have certain techniques or whatever, God forbid any of us ever find ourselves in this kind of situation. But typically with men being much bigger than us, much stronger than us, you would need different ways to get out of certain situations, right? I don't know if it's strangulation, someone trying to do X, Y, or Z. And it's, not even just out on the streets, but even domestically, right? I think that typically when women are victims of violence, when women are victims of rape, things like that, it's with men that we know, right? And so I really, really, really do strongly feel strongly about women being in martial arts and whatnot, just to have the best chance possible at being able to defend ourselves, because this stuff is really, really, truly terrifying. Truly, honestly, I'm just so disturbed that, again, this man is still able to get out there. So the last time I did a video on this, they had said something to the effect of him getting a minimum. So this time, if he is found guilty of this, right? Last time against his sister, he was found guilty. They didn't give him much time, if any. They put him on some kind of probation situation. But this time, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it carries a minimum of 5 years. Still not enough, right? But minimum at the very least, right? Leah says, why would Janelle defend him after going through it herself and again with David? Great question. And she's really quiet now, isn't she? I haven't seen her pop up, you know, with her usual loud mouth and whatnot. The fact that she tried to bring this kind of a man into her house, the man doesn't care about the child that he has with her. He hasn't tried to make contact with that child in years. He goes to the child the last time he was supposed to see him, despite the fact that they live in the same state, right? And so he gets in trouble doing what he did to Janelle already to another woman. And her first instinct is to defend him, invite him to her house, invite him to sleep in her child's bed, get wrapped up in this, you know, have the police situation involved in her house in front of her already traumatized children. It's absolutely insane. Then after that, she gets online, she harasses, she bullies this woman. Like, she truly is sick in the head. And it's never going to happen, right? But I wish that she would come out here and issue a public apology, because what she did to this girl is indefensible. It's unforgivable. It was cruel. It was malicious. It was disturbing. All this for Nathan, crazy. Gwen says 40% of U.S. cops surveyed said that they hurt their own wives at home. Birds of a feather. Ouch. So, that is a theory as to why potentially it's not being taken as seriously as it is. But now at this point, I'm wondering about the judges, right? What's going on with the judges, right? Because they're the ones who determine how much time a person is going to spend in jail or in prison for these sorts of things. Now I'm looking at them wondering what it is that they're doing and why it is that they think that this is okay. That's the message that they are sending. TR1P says, if you're in the States and a woman, get a CCW too. Do you mind telling us what a CCW is? I don't really know what that is. Lynn says, Nathan would be so scary. And I agree. It seems like he gets like into a blackout blind rage. And that's like the most terrifying thing. Kel says, women need to put a higher premium on their safety. Regarding Nathan, his history, I agree. His history is well known. He should never be able to procure a date with any woman, period. And I agree, not to victim blame or anything like that, because we still support her. We believe her and everything. But ladies, you got to use Google, look up the people you're dating, whatever you can to get, criminal data, whatever you can, right? Articles written about them, anything, right? In this case, I feel like people who go out with people who are known, you're lucky, right? That this guy, when you search Nathan Griffith, 1,000,001 mugshots pop up, 1,000,001 articles telling you, stay away from this man. He strangles women. Here are all the names of the different women he strangled. Here's a photo of his mugshot, his photo shoot after each one he's done it to. This, like Kel says, it should send a message to you. I've got to stay away from this person, right? Like she says, put a higher premium on your own safety. You only have one life. Don't spend it trying to, save a man, change a man, this, that, or the other. This man is pushing 40. He's been at this for decades, right? That is just who he is, and you've got to leave him alone. Don't listen to any sob stories. No, nothing, right? Rhymester says maybe Easton's on a break or on medication. You know what? Maybe she's on another bender with Tori over there. The way those two drink all the time. Janelle loves drama. She thrives on it, and I absolutely agree. She doesn't care. Says yes. My dad taught all his girls how to fight. Period. Right? Absolutely. Learn. Martial arts, whatever you can. My parents put us all into jiu-jitsu when we were younger as well for this reason. It's a concealed carry weapon. Okay. Thank you. So if you live in a country where you're able to do that, definitely look into that as well. Anything you can to be able to defend yourself, right? Because again, there's a big disadvantage between us and men. Chrissy says, good morning, Chrissy. Nice to see you. Bear spray, whatever you can, you guys. Bear spray is another really, really good option. Gwen says, in my state, you can look up court records. I highly recommend it. Please, guys, anything you can. Court records, Google anything you can. And do not listen to any sob stories. You do not need it. Right? It's not your job to fix anybody. You got to take people at face value, who they've shown themselves to be, right? If you find ugly stuff there, do not let somebody explain it all away. No, there's a reason. and they're a liar. Steph says, back in the day, men come home from work wanting their drink and meal ready and thank you with a smack across the face. The law doesn't care about DV. Yeah. And it's so damn sad, right? Like, you would think that we would have evolved to a better place by now, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Once again, so sorry to Anastasia, and I am supporting her 100,000%, and I truly, truly hope that we never see a free Nathan Griffith ever again. He does not belong in the streets. Now, you guys, let's talk about Cassie, this star who blew the lid off of Diddygate, right, with her bravery and her lawsuit. She was just spotted in New York. Remember, she's pregnant, y'all. She's pregnant with her third child. She hasn't yet said if it's a boy or a girl, but that's besides the point. Look how absolutely stunning she looks, right? So she's in New York because she is getting ready to testify against Diddy in the big trial taking place in just 4 days, you guys. Or actually, I should say just Monday, right? So shout out to her and all of her bravery. I really, really, really do admire her and everything that it took for her to come out, share what happened to her, and to open up the door for other people to be able to do the same. So you guys, once again, she is married to trainer Alex Fine. They've been married for 6 years. Wow, how the time flies, you guys. She's also been very thankful for all of the love and support that she's received from people ever since she came out with her story. Now, I do also have another story for you guys. And funny enough, I don't have a picture of this chick. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull it up. Do y'all remember how Mackenzie McKee is pregnant with twins with Casanio and whatnot? Well, I've got a spoiler for you guys. Cover your ears if you do not want the spoiler, okay? But basically, she and Casanio, I know what sex of babies they are going to have. This is a preview for next week's episode of Teen Mom Next Chapter, but basically, have I stalled long enough? You guys have your ears plugged if you don't want the tea on this. They're going to be having twin girls. I do have a question for you guys because I didn't get the time to ask ChatGPT this. So when you're having IVF twins, right? This is not like regular twins where a cell split. This is just two completely different, but you're having them at the same time, right? So they're technically twins, but also technically not twins. Is that how that goes, right? Or am I misunderstanding this situation? But either way, congratulations to the two of them. I think she's about 28 weeks pregnant at the moment. And she says that everything has been going really well with her blood sugar and everything like that. Some fans were asking her if the twins would be born in August. And she said that she carried her individual children, right? The non-twin children she had, to 36 or 37 weeks maximum. And so she's really trying to make it past next month into June. So this month into June, she wants to go to at least 32 to 34 weeks. That is her ultimate goal. So Chella says not identical, fraternal twins. So here's you know what? Maybe I have to go to ChatGPT because I got so many questions about this. Fraternal twins. Because to me, even fraternal twins, one cell split. Or wait a minute. No, fraternal twins, that's not the case, right? Two completely different cells. They just happen to be sharing the same sac, right? Or the womb. Oh, Lord. Listen, y'all, I was not a biology major. It's been a long time. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on this. Ramster says, oh, no, poor Mackenzie. Drew's sticking to her like chewing gum. I love Drew Barrymore. And, I have to tell you guys, I think she's an underrated beauty. To me, she's one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. But they never really put her on the most beautiful list. But it is true that she gets really, really close. I hope she has fresh breath. I hope she brushes her teeth as close as she gets to people. Because y'all know there's few things in life as bad as getting hit with the whoop of somebody that just does not have good oral hygiene. Steph says, thank you, Gracie. The ring didn't mean a thing. Whoa. So sorry. My bad. Jaleesa, hey, boo. No, she's not having identical. They are fraternal twins is what I am learning. Acacia says, I hope she educates herself on having biracial children. Listen, I'm still stunned at the fact that this girl who's around my age thought it was normal to call people colored just like a year or two ago. Right? Like, what? Like, this was not even something in your era. Something was going on in your home with your parents or whatever for you to be speaking like that. I still do not understand what the hell Casanio is thinking getting with this chick, but listen, I don't want people tearing my behind up. I'm having a good Friday, so I'm going to zip it when it comes to this conversation. All I'm going to say is good luck to those twins. Good luck to Cassano. Ali says they would be fraternal twins. I asked them. Oh, thank you. And she got an expert opinion. This is boots on the ground. I love when my co-reporters show up with their boots on the ground. Love to see it. So the identical is one splitting. Fraternal is just two, being pregnant with two at the same time, right? So that's really nice to know. Congratulations to them, very, very exciting. Twins. Lots of twins are going on in the world right now. Not in the world, but in the teen mom world. Mariah says, my sisters are identical twins and I'm terrified of having twins. Like the idea of being pregnant with two at the same time, it sounds like so much, right? Because even, when you see women who are pregnant with one, it seems like a lot, a lot of energy, a lot of work, a lot of like just heavy and stuff. So with two, God bless anyone who has 2, 3, 4, Octomom. Like it sounds like a lot. Lucky says my BFFs are fraternal twins, but look alike. Oh, like the Olsen twins. You'd think they were identical. Isn't that crazy that the Olsen twins are fraternal, but they look more alike than Tia and Tamara? Tia and Tamara to me look more like fraternal twins than the Olsens. And y'all know I used to be obsessed, like truly. This was the first people I ever stand were the Olsen twins. I would study with a magnifying glass to be able to tell them apart. And that is like one of my greatest talents in life. I could tell them apart like that because I studied, right? Ramser says Drew is beautiful, but a bit too close for comfort. And I completely agree. I hope she learns to kind of back up a little bit. Well, Miss Fluffy says super late today. I'm going to have to start the video over. Enjoy your day. Thanks so much for popping by, little Miss Fluffy. Can't wait to see you in the playback. Bree says, I think her life is stress-free. And that's why she's having a beautiful pregnancy. And you know what? It is so true that these sorts of things, not stressing about money, this, that, and the other, it really helps to contribute to you just living a better quality of life, right? Overall. Ali said, and it is true, in not having a partner who's cheating on you or like being mean to you, this sorts of stuff. So you're right. Maybe that's why it's so much easier for her this time around. And I think she has a healthier partner too, because you know what? They've been doing a lot of studies these days about how the health of the man who impregnates you really plays a big role in the health of your pregnancy and your children. And I think that Cassano is a much healthier person than Josh is. And so I do think that these things all kind of like factor in together. Ali says my sorority sister has two sets of, oh, Lord have mercy. I know she closed up shop after the second set. Kristen says, I have noticed that too. Lots of twins lately. Let that pass me, please. Right? Oh my God. Listen, twins seem really cool. I have to tell you guys, in my salsa dancing classes on Saturday, I didn't even know until like 2 weekends ago that we had twins there. And it was so funny because we were dancing, right? And then this one of these girls, I always thought it was just one girl. She just pops up and she's wearing like, a green skirt and she's doing up her shoes, right? And so we do the cycle, dancing with other people. And then, I get back to this place meeting. I had already danced with like 6 different people. And then I see her again on the ground doing up her shoes, but this time she's wearing a different outfit and it's still a skirt, but it's a different color skirt. And I'm like, wait a minute, you already, like, why are you still here? Like, we just did the whole thing and you're still putting on your shoes. You went and changed and what's happening? And then I looked around and that's the first time I have ever realized that they were twins. Isn't that crazy? And I've been seeing this girl for a really, really long time, but I always thought it was just one person. Twins seem like the coolest thing. I would have loved to be a twin. Lord have mercy. It just seems so damn cool. Now, you guys, what else do we have? Jade, like I told you guys, we've got so much teen mom gossip to get into today. And again, I do have to get going soon to my class, but I really want to get through this teen mom gossip, okay? Jade, first of all, can we get into how beautiful this hair color looks on her? She looks gorgeous. If I didn't know any better, I would think she was born with this hair. Y'all, if you've been watching me for like, even for like a month, I am obsessed with ginger hair. I think that ginger hair is like the most beautiful, beautiful hair color. I think that something about the ginger hair makes y'all look like fairies, like beautiful fairies, like not like Tinkerbell, but is there like a fairy with red hair? Like that, just absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, Jade, she dyed her hair orange to hop onto the TikTok to talk to us about her and her family not really appearing so much in this season of the show. Take a look at what it is that she had to say, and we'll discuss it on the flip side. By the way, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, I'm watching you. make sure to leave a like down below, okay? So YouTube knows you enjoy my content. Here goes.
I'm seeing all the messages, guys. I'm seeing the comments, okay? Everyone's asking, where are you? Why are you not on this season of Teen Mom? Where have you been? And honestly, we're not on it. We are not on it. But this week, I guess I'm going to be guest starring on Teen Mom this week, this Thursday, 8 p.m. I will be making a guest appearance because at this point, that's kind of what this feels like. Because I really haven't been on it. I think the last 6 or 7 episodes, we haven't been on it. Honestly, if you guys are my Snap besties, you guys know I'm obsessed with you guys. I love you. My Snap link is in my bio. I post our daily lives, everything we're doing on a daily. And maybe it's because we don't have enough drama that we're like actually like happy and really healthy. So maybe that's why we're not on the show. But yeah, at this point, it does feel like I'm guest starring on a show that I'm already on because I haven't hardly been on it. So I will be on it, and I don't know how they're editing. I don't know how they're doing the rest. There's a lot of stuff that I filmed that hasn't been shown on the show yet. So I know they're adding episodes. I don't know if they're tacking it on to the end. I don't really understand the edit of this season at all. But hey, I'm along for the ride. Guest starring this Thursday, 8 p.m. on MTV. I will see you guys there.
She said she was guest starring, but guess what? She didn't even guest star in this week's episode of the show. Listen, I'm disappointed because y'all know Big Gulp Christy is somebody who really interests me as far as the cast goes. The last time we saw her and her family, Big Gulp was like gouging out her eyes because she was like hooked. She was on meth or something like that. They were trying to stage an intervention. Children are upstairs. Gulp was screaming, crying, throwing up, and like it was just this huge thing. So the fact that Jade now hops up on TikTok talking about, oh, I think they're not featuring my family anymore because we're just so, we're doing well, we're happy, we're healthy. You're what? You're where? On what planet would you ever, looking at the cast of Teen Mom Next Chapter, if somebody were to tell you which one do you think is like the happiest, healthiest, like most chill storyline, almost boring, right? Who would ever think to point out Jade in her situation, right? First of all, her relationship with Sean, the way they act towards their daughter, the way her mother is and whatnot. Absolutely not. And that is what's so surprising to me, right? I feel like what she's got going on with Gulp and everybody is a hell of a lot more interesting than a lot of these other storylines, right? For example, Macy's storyline overly relies on Ryan, and that's why she's kissing up to his latest baby mama, right? Amber, she's not even present with her daughter, right? So all we're doing is bothering this child about her abandonment issues. And then when it comes to Cheyenne and Zach, it's they want to have another kid because Zach is pushing for it, but now Cheyenne is the one who's like pushing and crying over it and whatnot, right? These storylines are not all that dynamic, right? Like, how often do you see people gouging their eyes out on television, right? Like, how often do you see like intervention style shows? Like, there is so much going on in Jade's world. And so I genuinely am very, very surprised that they are underutilizing her this season. I think that she could be so damn interesting. I want to follow this story. I want to know what happens with Gulp and whatnot moving forward, right? And so I love that you guys are all like redhead lovers too. Oh my God, I think they're so beautiful. You know what, you guys? I feel like I've been fawning over people so much like this episode. I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down, right? And you know what? While we're fawning, for those of you who were not here earlier, let me give you guys a little bit of a recapitulatif, of a recap, right? So this is Shane. It all started with him, right? Season 2 of Love is Blind. I never looked twice at this guy. I said, oh, yeah, you know what? Not my type at all. Just, not ugly, but not my type, right? And then all of a sudden, this man shaved off his hair, bulked up, and I have not been able to act right since. I gotta calm down. Bad Grace. Down. So anyway, it looks really beautiful. And I'm so happy that you guys are fellow, ginger lovers as well. The ladies, the men with it, you guys look absolutely amazing with this hair. I've always heard that people with ginger hair get made fun of a lot. And I've never understood why. I'm like, really, you guys have the most magical, princess fairy hair ever. How? Gwen says, I love red hair too. My whole family has a dash of red in her hair, and I love taking pictures of us in the sun. Oh, so beautiful. Did I tell you, speaking of, I'm going to Ireland, and I feel like is that not supposed to be the land of the redheads? I better get an inhaler. I'm not asthmatic, but I need an inhaler. I probably will need one. When I'm over there, I won't be able to contain myself. Steph says, I thought it was just me. I was wondering where she was, right? Like, and I didn't even notice until this TikTok came across my feed. Ali says, perhaps Jade's family is becoming more of a liability. Ooh, gag it. To film and broadcast to the world. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's a lot going on. Maybe Gulp is in such a bad place that they feel uncomfortable even airing it. But at the same time, don't forget the places that Ryan's been in, like Leah's been in, right? Ryan with that damn car and everything. Like, it was bad, right? Y'all aren't buying the whole Gulp being healthy thing. Absolutely freaking not. And I know it's kind of, you know what, but between that one, the Amber one, the Cheyenne one, and who was the third person that I said was boring? The Macy one. I think this is the most interesting, to be honest with you guys. Y'all, listen, even if it's just the cup, even if they just put a big Gulp cup on a counter, I would just be watching it like, wow, like it is so big. And you put soda in that, like not water? Wow, like I could watch that and be more interested than I am by the other storylines. Like he says, my mom's a natural redhead, but hates it. And dyes it black because it matches her skin color. People don't really, and she's black. Oh, black redheads too are so stunning. And biracial redheads, woo! Something about that red hair, y'all. It is so freaking beautiful. Jesus says, I laughed when she said that. The delusional. Who are you kidding, Jade? Nobody thinks happy and healthy, your family at all. No offense. Like, I know you're trying and whatnot, but come on now. And maybe it's true that it's relatively speaking, but even still, damn. Actually, wait, relative to them. Yeah, maybe that's what you're talking about. Geisha says these people had the audacity to try and adopt a kid. Let's get Chloe in activities. Oh yeah, that's true. Why don't we get her in activities before we worry about that? They've been threatening to adopt for years now, and you know what? Like, Allie, I'm telling you, listen, he cut that hair and the eyes straightened out. You know what was giving him crazy eyes? I think he admitted to being on coke or something, and so he cut that out, and like now he looks good. Please tell me he looks good. Hey Misha, how are you? We were talking about you actually in yesterday's co-report, but I don't even remember why. But we were talking about you. I think I was saying something about Ottawa. I was like, shout out to Misha. Nice to have you back, boo. We're back. I'm sorry, Jaleesa. Come on, you guys. He looks good. Does he not? He looks good. He looks so good. And you know what? Actually, I hope you don't think so. More for me. I only got to fight one girl, his girlfriend now. But if you guys think so too, I'm going to have to fight more. Jen says, I don't understand the ginger hair hate either. It's so odd. Like, do people not like magical hair? Also, I love when you randomly say things in French. It's so cool. Thanks. It's so cute. Shout out to the redheads. I stan you guys so much. And I don't have one anymore. I loved that in Ottawa. It was so, I still kept everything you guys sent me. Like, I got a keychain. Someone made me a custom Grace Report mug. I got so many beautiful letters, postcards from all over the world. So beautiful. No, I don't know how that works here in France, but oh my God, thank you to you guys who were sending me letters and whatnot in my P.O. box. It was absolutely, it was such a beautiful, beautiful time. Lex says that South Park episode where they claim the ginger suck your soul out is probably, I loved that episode too. I remember that episode, and the daywalkers and stuff. My longest relationship was with the ginger. Everyone said he was ugly. I was in love. Oh my God. Shout out to Ginger. Justice for the gingers. I love you gingers, y'all. I'm telling y'all, the cup is so, I don't understand people who drink their calories, like when you have like something like this, right? And you see it like a Starbucks or whatever it is, and it says it's like 800 calories, 900, like you'll drink that? That's so fascinating to me. What? Okay. I'm telling you, listen, I gotta go, you guys. I got my Aikido class coming up, but you know what? Let me thirst over Shane some more. Nobody tell his girlfriend, but let me put this picture up one more time, y'all, before I let go. How good does he look? Is it just me? And listen, I know he had crazy eyes before, but look at the before, right? Here's the eye doing that thing, right? And this is the current. I feel like, though, because we know how he speaks and like his energy and whatnot, probably in motion, I would not be, into it. But this photo, I'm sorry, y'all. This photo is fire. He looks good. That girl should not have posted that photo. I imagine there's a lot of girls like me, like in heat over this photo, and some of them are going to be bad, jumping into the DMs, and you don't want that, girl. Only post ugly photos if you post your man. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Morning Report. I did have some more stories to go over, but I'll have to make them into separate videos, okay? So I did do an earlier video for my channel members about Teyana Taylor. So we'll get into that a little bit later with you guys. So basically, her ex-husband now, or actually I'll do it quickly, Iman Shumpert, is trying to get her thrown in jail. Right? He's saying that she's in contempt of their divorce deal. He says that she has, quote, willfully and contemptuously exposed and broadcast specific provisions. He says that she's running to the press. She treats him terribly in front of the children. She shouted crude and inflammatory racial insults in front of the children, put them in a self-imposed position of peacemaker. Listen, I got to say, first of all, she's probably saying that he's saying that she says that N-word in front of the kids. You ain't ish, N-word, that sort of thing, right? Some of these things, I'm not surprised. I do think that there's some conversations that happen in front of their children that are not okay, just based off of like the kind of attitude that you've seen in the kids in the reality show that they used to have. But that's a story for another day. And last but not least, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, I think he actually kind of needs to put a muzzle on it, because he's kind of getting into seedy Tony Busby territory, because we all now know that Blake Lively is going to be testifying in the case, right? And so now Justin Baldoni's lawyer is challenging her. He says, oh, really? You want to be a voice for women who have been victims of workplace sexual harassment and whatnot? Why don't you, if you're serious about testifying for the world to see, why don't we live stream it in Madison Square Garden and give the money to the domestic violence survivors? Listen, I think it's icky. At this point, it's giving grifter, it's giving ambulance chaser and whatnot. And I think he kind of needs to shut it at this point. There's a lot of goodwill for him, Justin Baldoni and their team. And I think that like with each passing like statement, he is squandering it. And it's not a good thing at all. This is a serious situation. I know a lot of people think that Blake is lying or exaggerating, but at the end of the day, the theme is serious. And the idea of people buying tickets to go to a stadium that's usually for comedians, sports, concerts, to go watch a trial for domestic violence, like, no, like, what is that? That's disgusting, right? Anyway, I'll make that the mic check moment. So shout out to you guys who've all made it, in the playback posse, who've made it to the end here. Let me know in the comments section what you think about it. Is Justin Baldoni's lawyer starting to give off ambulance chaser vibes, or is he really serious about raising money for domestic violence victims? And if you're watching in the live chat, please feel free to leave it in the chat as well, you guys. What a show, you guys. We ran through so many stories, so much thirsting as well, but that's fine. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you missed out on any of it, don't worry. I do post the little clips individually on YouTube, so those will be up tomorrow as well, okay? Take good care of yourselves, you guys. Once again, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Morning Report, and I'll see you bright and early, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.